Hi everyone and welcome to Newegg TV. My name is Paul and today I'm going to be doing an unboxing and overview of this SONY VAIO T Series touchscreen Ultrabook, model SVT13124CXS. Here's a look at the included documentation and accessories. So for starters, you get a few codes on the back of this card, and that will allow you to download some Sony movies from the Google Play Store. Get you started with your media collection. You also have a Windows 8 getting started guide if you've never used Windows 8 before. It is a joy to use with touchscreens like the one that's included with this laptop, but here are some quick shortcuts and that sort of thing. We also have a Windows 8 guide on our YouTube channel if you want to check that out for some more information. Limited warranty statement. Sony is providing a 1-year manufacturer's warranty for this product. It's also transferable within that year if you happen to sell the device to somebody else. You also have a quick start guide here for getting your laptop up and running if you're not familiar with the sort of more basic stuff such as reading French and plugging in cables. You also have a safety regulations guide right there that you should read through. You also have recovery, backup, and troubleshooting guide, so if you ever need to do a system restore, for example, to return the Ultrabook to its original shipped operating system, you can do that. And also, here's a little guide on removing and reinstalling the battery pack. I'm going to show you that right now, and I really do like that Sony has gone the extra mile to include removable battery packs for these Ultrabooks, because a lot of Ultrabooks have non-serviceable battery packs, and that means when the battery stops working, you can't do much with your laptop anymore. So kudos to Sony for doing that. Here's your AC adapter cable, so that's the part that plugs into the wall. This is the part that plugs into the power brick. Here is your fairly small, diminutive size 19.5 volt 2 amp power brick, and there's the end that plugs into the Ultrabook. And here's a look at the Ultrabook itself. The color on this one is Silver Mist, and as you can see on the cover here, I'm trying to angle it so the light catches it. You sort of have a brushed aluminum finish. Oh, there we go. Brushed aluminum finish. You have the VAIO logo embedded here in chrome, and then of course Sony logo up there at the top. And you have a bit more chrome, sort of a bar along the back here, some reflective shiny chrome material, some accents around the side. There's sort of a flip around view. We're going to take a closer look at the sides of this device to show you guys what is there. So here you have some indicator lights, wireless indicator light, also hard drive activity and battery. Here is an embedded microphone. You also have, over on this side, I should say, you have a USB 3.0 port. This is a charging port. You see a little lightning bolt on top. So even when the Ultrabook is off, you can still plug in devices to charge from that port. USB 2.0 port right next to that. Some ventilation here for the CPU. You also have your AC adapter plug right there. Flipping around to the opposite side, we have a headphone port, standard 1/8 inch jack for that. You have a SD/Memory Stick Pro Duo card reader, HDMI, which can do video and audio out, and you also have a VGA out if you want to do an analog output. Very handy if you take this on business trips, for example, to plug into overhead displays. You also have an RJ45 connector right there, so that's a gigabit Ethernet. You also have integrated Wi-Fi, and that's via an Atheros 802.11 BG and N Wi-Fi card, which also has Bluetooth 4.0. And then let me flip around here to the bottom. So you can see a few different things. Well, you have your sort of detailed Sony information card right there. A few more slots here for ventilation. And then here, all the way across, is your removable battery. So just a moment, and I'll show you guys how that works. So you have 3 fairly shallow screws right here, and using a penny, or I'd recommend a nickel, actually, or a flathead screwdriver, simply loosen those. It's sort of spring-loaded a little bit, so it will start to pop out, and then you can lift out the battery. And there you have it. There's your little battery. Again, this is a 4050 milliamp hour battery, and it is replaceable, which is very nice, especially in an Ultrabook. And then, yeah, there you can see the little gap where the battery was. And just a moment, and I'll see what's behind this panel. So 3 more little screws holding this one in. You might need a small screwdriver for that, but you can remove that little access panel. And this gives you access to a 2.5 inch hard drive. So this is the pre-installed hard drive. It's a 5400 RPM 500 gigabyte hard drive. It's supplemented by another 32 gigabytes of MLC flash, so you got a SSD that's built in, and that's providing caching for this drive, so that will speed up the performance for files that you use very frequently. It's very helpful for startup and shutdown, and that's one of the reasons why Ultrabooks tend to perform so well, is the integration of that SSD functionality. But you can swap this out, and imagine in the future, for instance, changing this out with an SSD or a higher capacity hard drive would be an option. It's got a standard SATA connector right there, and pretty easy to access as well. You also have an open SODIMM slot right there. So you have 4 gigabytes of DDR3 memory that's already pre-installed here. Then you have an empty SODIMM slot, so you can add more if it suits your purposes. Now with the laptop lid open, we can see the inside of the laptop. So here's a look sort of from the side, so you can see the nice slim screen right here. This is once again a LCD. It's LED backlit, and that adds to the thinness. It's 13.3 inches measured from corner to corner, and it is 1366 by 768 resolution. Also, of course, touchscreen as indicated by the little purple sticker right there. And one of the nice things I'll note about this touchscreen is that the bezel is actually included as part of the screen. That's very helpful with Windows 8 in particular, because for some functions, such as closing programs, you swipe from top to bottom, and you actually want to start your swipe just off of the actual screen itself. Apart from that, you have a 1.3 megapixel camera right up there at the top, and then of course Sony logo, capacitive touchscreen. And let's move on down here to the actual keyboard. Let me angle it up here so you guys can get a better look. So you have a full QWERTY keyboard right here. No numerical pads, so bear that in mind, but you do have numbers, of course, up at the top. You have some extra access buttons, assist, web, and VAIO buttons right there. Those are used for various functions that are detailed in the manual. For example, if you want to restore the system, you're going to push the assist button to upon startup, and you can access some of the system restore features. You also have a number lock, caps lock, and scroll lock indicator lights up there at the top. Here's your power button on the upper right. It's got a little light next to it, so that will indicate that the power is indeed on. And then for the keyboard itself, you have some function keys. So by pressing the blue function button right there, you can access some shortcuts, such as turning the turning the touchpad on and off, turning your volume up and down, and increasing or decreasing your brightness, and easily switching to an external display. Chiclet style keys, they're nicely spaced. You have a rest down here at the bottom. The finish is sort of a soft silver color. And then down here, of course, you have a touchpad with depressing areas, I shouldn't say depressing, with areas at the corners that you can press down upon to do left or right click. Finally, for internals, just to round things out, you will notice the Core i3 logo. Of course, you need a Intel 2nd or 3rd gen processor to make it an Ultrabook, and this happens to be a third gen Ivy Bridge 22 nanometer processor. It's a Core i3 3217U. The U indicates a low power draw, so it's just got a 17 watt TDP. It's a dual core processor, does support hyperthreading, so you get 4 threads, and then it is locked CPU frequency at 1.8 gigahertz. And that's going to wrap it up for this video, guys. Once again, this has been the Sony VAIO T Series Ultrabook model SVT13124CXS, featuring the Intel Ivy Bridge processor and the 13.3-inch capacitive touchscreen. I'm Paul with Newegg TV, and if you enjoyed today's video, you can find more on our Newegg YouTube channel. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you next time.